So we'll just go with the flow. Whoa, popping and farting. What is going on here? Well, what do we have here? We have a Sunshine with the body on it. It is Thursday? Yeah, Thursday of the week after. We are waiting for the wheels. They have shipped. I'm going to tell you right now, this truck is going to look 1,000,000 times better with the actual wheels that we have picked out for this thing. And then we can set final ride height and everything. Nothing has been done under the hood since we last worked on it, but the bed is in. We've got our handy dandy bed fill with these really nice caps that are just push in, so you just capless fill it basically. You don't have to take a cap off. Tailgate bumper, we still got some tailgate trim you can see that needs to go on, but all the lights are on, all the trim is on. It's all original restored trim. Everything was polished, smoothed, repainted or striped, like the little black lines in there. Original emblems all cleaned up. These are cool with the lights in them. A nice Ford emblem. Waiting for, we gotta finish the front strip on the front of the hood there. But the truck's gonna look mean coming down the road at you. Should sound good too. It's going out for exhaust either Friday or Monday. I think he said Monday actually. So let's take a look inside. Not much has changed, but a couple things. So he started putting the interior panels in. The door panels are here. He's got to get the armrests. He forgot to bring them. These are some TMI interiors panels with Alcantara to match the dash and the roof and whatnot. And me, right now, I am going to work on this stuff. So we've got a Kicker 10-inch pre-made Kicker comp box. We've got our Alpine 5-channel amp. I'm figuring out where I want to put this stuff because I have something to do over here too. We've got our Kicker 6x9s that are going here, and actually from Fat Fender Garage he ordered some really kick-ass $600 kick panel trims with speakers and that. So we're actually going to have 6 speakers. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6. That's how many's in there. These will be powered. These will be powered. The center dash speakers will just be running off of speaker inputs off the radio. So what I'm doing today, what are these parts? Oh, that's my AC trinary switch. I just centered this up kind of where I want it to be. I'm just making sure everything's going to fit depth-wise in here and whatnot. I have some particle board over there, which I'm going to cut. Unlike the other one, I'm not going to do a flat bottom channel and a back channel. I'm only going to do a back channel, and then we're going to remove the speaker and bolt this thing in down through the floor to make it solid. But we're going to bring a piece out here, the entire height of the box, till probably, we'll bring it out actually the exact amount that is over to that side, over to here, just to keep it even. But it so works out that where I wanted my speaker wires and power wires to be are on the side that I need them to be, with the Alpine emblem sitting the way it is correctly. But we're going to mount this up here on that wall, and then further over on, let me not drop that, on that side we are going to mount my positive and negative bus bars, my module for my fuel pump control, and then do some really nice neat wiring with those. And pretty much all the wires for the speakers are going to run back behind that thing, so they're all hidden. Go into there, obviously it's easy, into those corner speakers. We'll run them down the sides into these kicks, and then now that we're doing the radio right out of speaker levels for these dash speakers, right up there, so there's nothing there. So all I need to run from the front here is going to be my 3 sets of RCA cables, which we're going to tuck under here nice and clean and bring up there, and then my remote turn-on wire from the radio, which we're going to bring over this. Speaker wires will come out from the radio, and my power and ground for the radio going to be off those 2 main power and ground bus bars over there. So I'm going to do some stuff. All right, so we're all laid out here. I did 34 long by 12.5 high, so we'll keep in this section. Whatever is the top passenger side corner, I'm going to put a round on that just to take the sharp edges off of it. The bottom side, I don't want to do that. I want it to come down flat. I'm actually probably going to flip it because this edge is a little beat up, so we'll do the round on this side. And then, so that means somewhere over here, it'll get a couple of screws to screw into the back of that speaker box. And because that box doesn't sit flat up against the back of the cab, this will actually tuck in between the cab and the box after it's screwed in. And then the amp will mount here. My fuel control module stuff will mount here. We'll have a bus bar here, a bus bar here, run all some wiring. Actually, maybe I'll do the fuel control module a little higher and put the 2 bus bars down lower. I lay it out as I get it all cut out and stuff. But don't have my saw here. I brought it home to do housework, so tomorrow I'll bring it in and cut this. What's going on, guys? It's Friday. Didn't really have much of a chance to work on this thing Wednesday and Thursday. Got a little bit done here, I'll show you in a second, but last night the owner of the dealership had his little reveal party, for his Ferrari Daytona SP3. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's an insane little car. It's built off of a LaFerrari chassis, and it's V12 NA, pretty sick little, you know, little whatever commuter car. Also, if you want to see pictures of it that I've taken, you can go to my Instagram, which is always up at the end of every video, but it's also in my bio. So I put up tons of pictures on there, a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you don't see here in the video, just because it's video, not pictures. But I'll show you what I've been doing today for the last hour. So I had my leftover MDF. I cut that to fit here, a couple of countersunk screws. This is all going to be fabric covered in black. And so we have my Kicker 10 ported box over here that I'm going to figure out how to mount. It's still just loose right now, but as you can see, that tucks behind it. So unfortunately, because it's ported, it's higher than the one that we had in the 69. So that bolt interferes with it, but I'm going to make it work. It's going to work. Mounted our Alpine 5-channel amp. I did it this way, so you know the Alpine is not upside down. Our RCA cables, I'm going to drill with a hole saw somewhere over here, because we'll be running those right up from the radio under the floor flat. They'll come under this and up the back and then in here to be super tight, super clean. And same thing on this side. The speaker wires will be drilling back through here and going, you know, behind this thing and being 100% hidden. I'll have a main ground, which will be coming from the body down here somewhere, most likely one of the seat or seat belt brackets. And I'll be bringing a power forward from our bus box in the engine bay up through somewhere here. I think it's right here is a spare open hole grommet, so we'll be bringing that up through there, and that's going to supply power. We're going to go right off the side here, right to battery, this negative right to the amp. My remote wire I'm actually going to bring up with the RCA cables, and then just behind here, and then one hole and bring it up into here. Trying to make this all as neat as possible. And this is our VaporWorks. This is the pulse width modulating module that I keep mentioning. But I'm pretty happy with how this came out. I don't know how much more I'm going to get on it today, but I do know that tomorrow, even though I don't have the time because I have so much to do at the house, I'll be down Lakeville at New England Muscle Cars, and I'm going to do a ton of wiring. It's going to be probably boring. I'll make it look neat, but pretty much everything we need for wiring supplies is down there. So I can lay out a bunch of stuff here, but wiring wise, it's kind of, I got to be there to do it. Other than that, not much has changed. We got a couple small little pieces of trim on. I think he put the hood trim on, Bossman, and the Ford trim on the tailgate. But other than that, I have some actual work I have to do over there, which I don't want to do, but I'm gonna do. And I'll update you if we get anything else going on. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. It's gonna look really trick when it's all black and this stuff's just mounted here. Oh, 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 oh. What is going on, guys and girls? Just gonna do a quick, maybe not quick, we'll see how it goes, a little video. I got a bunch of side projects at work. One is this 67 C10 that you saw. Not a fan of the Edlebrock ProFlow injection. I think really the only cool thing that this thing allows you to do, one, it's got just a regular tablet for a handheld, is you wirelessly Bluetooth hook up to the main computer, and then you can do all your tuning wirelessly, basically. You know, oh, you know what? Helps if I turn the key on. There it is. Yeah, so you got your setup wizard, advanced tuning, all that stuff, your gauge displays. So this thing came to me running like an absolute bag of ass. Like horrible. You touch the gas, it stalls out, it was backfiring, it was farting, it was doing all kinds of crap. Nothing but raw fuel out the tailpipes. I don't know the build, who did it and whatnot on this one, but it came to us to be straightened out. I believe when it was here, it got the QA1 front kit that's in it now, front cross member, independent coil over the whole 9 yards. Rides really nice with that in it. I've got to do my alignment on it. I started getting into the tune. I had to look up everything on this. Never ever dealt with one of these systems. Not a huge fan of them. So the thing that says Edlebrock that's mounted to the firewall is actually a front reservoir. So they use a lift pump style system from the tank to fill that little reservoir, and your high pressure pump is in that reservoir and then pumps that into your throttle body injection, or it's port fuel injection but air throttle body, unlike the snipers, which are throttle body injection. Why not just use a high pressure pump in the tank? Why do all that? It's like, I don't know, whatever. But what did I find with it? Idle wasn't set up correctly. Spark wasn't set up correctly. The tune itself just wasn't set up correctly. What was the other main thing? Timing. Timing wasn't set up correctly. Did I say timing already? I might have. Anyway, so I pulled up, didn't realize he has the instructions down on the floor over there, so I printed out the PDF packet of, I don't know, 25 pages of instructions and just went through and did a completely new base tune on it. They had it set up for a 58 PSI fuel system. This is not. This is the 42, 43, whatever it is. It's the one in the 40s. The injectors, they have 3 injector options on these. The injector caps themselves are color-coded, so you know, did not have it set up for the right ones. These are 29 pounds. They had it set up for something else. So everything was going against it. And timing, it looks like, I think it's a fluid damper that's on here, and there's paint marks in multiple locations. Well, the location they had it lined up to was at 12 degrees retarded. And to set this up correctly by the instructions for what tune I was putting in here, you needed to be 12 degrees advanced. So I'd say that was the majority of the problem. So I set it to 12. I set the idle correctly. It's a little more complicated than the setting the snipers, but it was able to get it, and the thing runs like a top now. Completely smooth. It's got really good drivability. I'm just not a fan of there is zero capability to tune this with a laptop. All tuning is done through this thing, which, yeah, okay, for the average everyday guy, sure, whatever. But like somebody like me that likes to really get into the fuel maps and the timing curves, it's just so much easier on a laptop, and then load it up into here. But apparently they do not have that option for these systems. We'll give you a walk around. It's not a bad put together truck. It's pretty clean inside. All TMI interior all over. Really nice stuff. I kind of like the color combo a lot too. Bed liner in body color. Don't know what color this is. Pretty cool. The wheels, yeah, okay, but you know, it's not me. It's the customer. It's their whatever you call it, choice. So yeah, so this is that something I was telling you about. So it pumps fuel up from the tank into that, and your high pressure pump is in that, and it pumps it up to here. And port fuel injection with a metered throttle body for your air. Clean-ish engine, not too bad. It doesn't feel bad. It's kind of peppy. Trans needs a little tuning adjustment on the TV cable because it does at full throttle shift way too early for my liking. Electric fans that work really well. This thing runs at like 175, somewhere around there, which is very impressive. What is that? Oh, thought that was coolant dripping. I mean, that is a little seepage, but I thought that was coolant dripping off of that knot right there, but it's just the sealant. Got the cool manifolds on it and whatnot. It's got side exhaust that dumps right before the rear tire. But under here, you can see the whole QA1 front setup. Oh, this doesn't have the whole front clip, so it's just QA1 suspension components and coilovers. I thought this had the whole front clip as well. But I got to do the alignment on this, and then I've got the old 69 Mercedes 600 over there that I'm dealing with a headache on, and we'll give you a walk around on that after. Oh, before I stop and go work on that, so these are our Fat Fender Garage kick panels for Sunshine. They are magnetic grills. We're only using them for the 6.5, but you can use a component system. Very nice. I like them a lot. And more importantly, the wheels are here. So this is what we went with. I don't know who they are. 3030 Autosport. Boss man got them. They are very good looking. So this is a front wheel. You can tell not a lot of lip on this thing. And then we're going to move these over here. This is a rear wheel. And there's a little bit of lip on this one. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of lip on this one. So at some point after I'm done with this alignment, I'm going to mount our tires right here on our wheels right here, and we can see how those look. The truck is at exhaust right now. Currently being done. We had to get a couple of collector flanges, and we got some really trick exhaust tips, which I think you're gonna like. I pick them out, or I picked them out, and we needed something a little different on this truck, so we did a little different. So let me go do what I got to do for an alignment, and then we can go deal with this nightmare over here. All right, done with my alignment. Well, we got it up here. Figured it'd take you for a quick little walk under here. So yeah, like I said, some nice QA1 upper and lower control arms. Definitely not stock spindles. I think it's part of the QA1 kit. The whole sway bar kit and everything, and coilovers. Just your typical everyday driver. So this thing for a lift pump uses the factory mechanical pump. Your normal small block Chevy seepages on your daily driver. Aftermarket tranny cross member. This is pretty trick though. And this is something I don't know why, especially being a GM guy, never crossed my mind. So they have side exhaust that dumps on each side in front of the rear wheel. But what these are C5 factory mufflers. That's pretty hilarious. They bring them over and loop them between the suspension here, which this will never compress enough to hit those. But that is, I can't believe I never thought of that before. That's pretty awesome. The only thing I would change on the exhaust is just to add a crossover in here somewhere because it will equalize the pulses side to side, because right now it literally sounds like 2 4-cylinders with this exhaust setup. It's pretty common with that. And it would do a lot better scavenging, I think, with a simple crossover H-pipe. It doesn't have to be an X, just an H-pipe. And there's enough room to do one here. And bring it down here. Even though the e-brake stuff's in the way, you can go around them. But, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to go test drive it now and make sure my alignment is good. Make sure the final drive for the tune is good, and ship it. Alright guys, we're going to take this thing for a drive. I'm just loading up my gauge display here so I can see. Oh yeah, I got a Bluetooth connected first. Not used to that. Used to always cable connecting everything. Gauge displays. So this gives me like, got a whole bunch of options. I'm hooked on the seat here. Ugh. There we go. It gives you those options, or you have like e-tuner display, which I don't know what the hell it means. EFI dashboard, and you got different channels on this you can go through and check out. But I've just got it on the basic digital display. It gives me pretty much everything I need to know. And we're gonna go for a drive. So these are your window switches. Pretty decent, up and down. Those are not bad, you know. Autometer gauges, not a huge fan. I'd like a nice Dakota Digital cluster in here. It does have vintage air. I don't think his AC is charged because I didn't feel it, but it's also not warm enough to need it outside. So let's go for a drive. All right, let's go for a drive. Let's see how this thing drives and feels now. Like I said, it's got that double 4-cylinder sound with just true duals and no crossover. Not sure if you're going to hear any wind noise. I don't have the sock on the microphone. So we'll just go with the flow. Whoa, popping and farting. What is going on here? So guys, I'm not out of fuel. You got a diagnostic mode here. And if you look, watch the throttle sensor when I'm trying to blip it. It goes red. Something's going on there. So I'll go out, go to my, not settings. Go to my gauge display again. Whoop. Throttle position right here is 0. No matter, I'm to the floor right now and it still says 0. That is a problem. Let me key this off and back on, and we'll see what happens. Yep, nope, I have no TPS at all. That's not moving off of 0. Let me pull it back in, check some wiring, check the plug at the TPS, make sure that's all good. It's never easy, but if it was easy, content would be boring, right? All right, I'll be back. Okay, you know what you weren't expecting today? Joe's Diagnostic Corner. Do you know how I know you weren't expecting it? Because I sure as hell wasn't expecting it. So let me show you what we got with this thing. So as you can see, TPS is in. Throttle linkage is all on. There's my throttle percent. Gonna crank this thing. Ow. All right, so we're cranked. 1% throttle. Oh, did you see that? You see that jumping around? That I've been trying to catch, but it hasn't happened for me. So, the weird part is if you power the ECU down and then you power it back up, it'll actually read. Although instead of starting off at 0%, it'll start off at 13%. But the second you crank the engine, flatlines to 0, doesn't go anywhere. So we're going to do some diagnostics here. So I've already checked all my wiring around here. And oh, see, there we go. Now it's sitting at 13 degrees or 13%, and it should be 0. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to test some wires. We're going to do this one-handed. Here we go. That'll stay. Not. This is, I should probably put this thing on my hat, huh? Okay, so I know from experience this top corner is my 5-volt reference. We've got 5 volts. These other two, one is my ground, which is this one. There's my ground. And the bottom one is my signal, which you'll get a little bit of voltage on there back and forth. So what I am going to do is jump my 5 volt to my signal, which should simulate a wide open TPS. And there we go. So I have jumped my 5 volt reference right into my signal. And here we go. 100%. So, do we really have to bang that much over there? Seriously? What that tells me is my wiring is good. And actually, now that I caught that on camera, which I've been trying to see just without the camera on it, just randomly jumping up like that when I have it cranked, that's what I wanted to see. That tells me my TPS is junk. And if you're wondering the little bit of slime that's in there, I thought I had a little bit of water contamination on the terminals, so I cleaned them off, put a little bit of dielectric grease on them. Did make a difference. What I also did find was searching on forums, which I hate doing because 90% of the time they're full of uneducated people that just take guesses and other people spend money based on their guesses. But these Edlebrock ProFlow, this is the unit that has the 4150 throttle body. Those TPS, I keep wanting to say TPMS, those TPS sensors are pretty much the bane of this whole system's existence. Edlebrock, unfortunately, as much as they tout made in USA, a lot of their junk is not. And that sucks, because they label it that it is. Well, these TPS sensors that they're putting into these things are cheap Chinese TPS sensors. What most of the guys do is put a new GM unit in it, or Standard Products makes one that I guess nobody has had any problem with the Standard products. Some guys have had problems with the GM ones, but that's because they've bought knockoff GM ones. They don't know how to look for the actual ones. But, oh, yep, see, like right now, we're at 13 again. I'm gonna unplug this. Yep, falls to 0 where it should be. It should be at 0 right now. Wow. That sucks because I took this out for 2 good rides before this and it was flawless. It was my last ride after the, what do you call it? Alignment that totally screwed it. So that's my little diagnostic corner for today. So it's safe to say I've accomplished absolutely nothing today. But now we're going to go over here and put the wheels on that are over there, put the tires on the wheels that are over there for sunshine. Okay, I got 3 out of the 4 mounted. Fourth one was fighting me a little bit. Really hard. It's a rear, it's a rear. Really hard to mount these because they're a straight barrel. So the tire does not like to slip on there. But, I mean, you can see, these are some damn good looking wheels. They're going to look amazing on that truck. I can't wait to get them on there. But that's a job for another time. It's also 5 o'clock, so I've got to go home, let some dogs out, cook some food, do adult stuff, and I'll be back tomorrow morning. All right, people, it's the next day. The new TPS is in. As you can see, it's reading. So we're going to start it up. If you look at the 0, it's reading now. We're all good. So now I'm going to take it outside, let it warm up, and we're going to go for that test drive that we were going to attempt yesterday. All right, guys. Funny meeting you here. I feel like we've had deja vu. So I got everything all reading good. I reloaded the base map, the whole tune, just to be safe, because I changed that and I've done a whole bunch of tweaks. But I've got my timing set perfectly again, and my throttle is set good, and my handheld just slid underneath my feet. Of course, it Well, the handheld slid underneath the seat, so, but we don't need it. And as you can see, now it's running good. And this guy's just gonna pull right out in front of me like I'm not barreling down the highway. But everything feels good now. It's got good throttle response. No hiccups anymore. TPS is reading great. So that's a wrap on this vehicle, at least. I still have all the other ones to deal with. But I'm gonna go for a ride now. Also, if you can see it, the speedometer is going nuts. Don't know why, don't care. It's not one of the concerns to be fixed. So these coilovers and these QA1 front arms, this thing rides pretty damn decent. I'm actually really impressed for a 67 truck on a stock style suspension. It's still got the stock long arm control arms out back with whatever brand drop springs he's got in it. But rides pretty decent, and there really isn't any rattles in this thing for what it is. Pretty decent. This is a great cruiser. This car shows, going to get ice cream with the lady, all that kind of stuff. Sunday drives, which I kind of wish today was Sunday. Yeah, she's running great. Let's see, we're at, Jesus Christ, we're at 150 degrees for temperature. This thing runs cool. Let's see if I can grab the handheld. Where did it go? So it slid under, but not all the way under. That figures. Oh, there it is. There it is. I got it. Whew. Yep, everything looks good. We're at 167 for coolant temp. So the odometer gauge is a couple degrees off. Everything looks good. It's doing its self-learn right now. A few test drives and it'll be great. And yeah, I think this thing would sound completely different if it had a crossover tube to equalize the pulses. It sounds like, you know, you went and took whatever with a small block Chevy and threw two true duals on it with no crossover. It's kind of a old school dirtbaggy sound. I like it to be a little more smooth. Alright, I'm going to go around this corner and back to the dealership. I'm going to take a look and make sure everything looks good on this handheld, and then off to the next project. See how early it shifts? That's all throttle valve cable adjustment. That's also another thing that they weren't complaining about, so I'm not getting into. I got enough on my plate right now, and I don't really want to eat any of it. All right, I am going to take a look at all this stuff, make sure everything looks good, and then maybe throughout the day take it on 1 or 2 more test drives to give the map a little bit more chance to self-learn. So we're looking at, let's see, it's doing its correction. We're anywhere between -4 to -6 fuel trims, which is not bad. I might up the idle just a tiny bit because my IAC counts are a little low after that test drive. But other than that, I think we're good to go right now. For right now. All right, time to go back inside.